Everyone talks about how homemaking is this great calling and how you should totally be embracing it. Everyone talks about learning homestead skills, but no one talks about the skill that is required to make all of that happen. If your days feel full, you're thinking about adding animals, you want to garden, make sourdough, or just you're trying to live life and it's chaos. The first thing that you should learn is time management. Are you a mom who dreams of that homestead life you see on Instagram? Who feels called to Christian homemaking? You feel like you'd need an extra 12 hours in your day, along with another set of hands, just to make your home work the way you know it could. Welcome to Simply Living Homestead. I'm Amanda Carlin, wife, mama, homemaker, and milkmaid. I've learned the secret to simplifying my time and homestead so my homemaking supports my family instead of exhausting me, and it makes room for the moments that truly matter. If you're ready to get time back in your day, manage your home with confidence, grow in your homesteading skills, and train your children in the way they should go, grab your pitchfork and planner, friend. Let's get to work. If you're a homemaking mama who longs for a simpler, more peaceful home and dreams about homesteading but sometimes feels overwhelmed or alone, I want to invite you to my free community. It's a calm, off-social media space where women gather for encouragement, accountability, and real support. Inside you'll find prayer, practical help, and a circle of women who understand the life you've been called to. If you're ready for less scrolling and more purpose, come join us. There's an easy app for your phone, or you can log in on desktop for a more mindful experience. The link is in the show notes, and I'd love to welcome you there. Welcome back to the Homestead. Today, we are talking about the skill that is necessary to complete basically anything in life, and that is time management. If you want to be a homemaker, if you want to raise children, maybe milk a cow, cook real food, and still breathe, this is where it all begins. I remember sitting in my son's bedroom late at night. I don't think he was even one yet. And I was rocking him, probably at 2 a.m. in the morning, and asking myself, how do women actually do all this? And I had one kid. And I knew sitting there that there were women out there who have 4, 6, 11 kids. And they are functioning. They are going about their day. Some women more than others, some more impressively than others. But they're happening. Things are happening. They're raising their children. They're cooking. They're cleaning. They're running their home. And some of them are even like running YouTube channels or posting consistently on Instagram in more than just I did the thing, pictures. And I was over there feeling like I needed another 12 hours in the day. The problem wasn't effort. The problem was my time structure and my execution capacity. Time management is the foundational skill that makes every other homemaking and homesteading skill possible. The first thing we're going to talk about is execution capacity. What can you realistically do in a normal day? Not your best day. Your real life day with interruptions. Homesteading piles on tasks quickly, and if you're already trying to be a homemaker, adding on all of these extra things that is not normal in our society, baking bread, paying attention to where our food is coming from, using natural clean ingredients, but having to figure out which ones are actually going to work, it's going to add so many things to your day, and you're probably already dealing with so many things. Without understanding your capacity and how much you can realistically get done in a day, it very quickly leads to burnout because we tend to think that we can get a lot more done in our day than we actually can. So, why time management? Well, people often are thinking about what they need to do. They are doing research, they are learning about all of these things that they want to do. They want animals. How do you raise a chicken? I want my own eggs. I don't want to have to buy them from the store. I want to be able to raise my own food. I don't want to have to rely on the store for this. Sourdough is supposed to be so much better for you. How do you do it? And these questions are good questions, and it's good to learn these things. But I pose to you today that these skills require space in your day. Systems create that space. time management systems keep homemaking sustainable in the long term. If we aren't learning how to make sure that the things that are most important to us have space in our day, they're quickly going to fall away as we turn our attention to learning and doing all of the other things. So at this point, you may be asking yourself, great, Amanda, what do I do? Instead of trying to plan everything today, I want you to just notice where your day already has structure. Anchors help your brain switch between roles. And we want to be able to look at our day and know where our starting place is. Once we know where our starting place is, we can very quickly, or at least effectively, start adding in other things that help break our day down into manageable chunks and keep the things that are important in their spaces. So where is your day already being successful? Maybe you have a good morning routine already in place. Maybe you have a good routine of getting up, making sure that your hair is done, your face is washed or done up to your liking, you've put fresh clothes on, and you've had a cup of coffee. And maybe even you've had some time in the Word. Maybe not. But maybe that's where your space is, you're doing really well. Maybe you do a great job at making sure that you always have lunch consistently on time at a good time. Maybe lunch is just super easy, or you have a good rhythm for this. That is great. We don't want to be changing the things that are already working. So think about your day. Think about where you already have structure. Where is your life working? And then we can start building around that to help create this time management. So what is a good time management system? I have something that I like to call the time blocks. Time blocks, there are 3 main time blocks, and they are different categories of things that you can do in your day that take up a large chunk of your day. This is not time blocking in the traditional sort of hour by hour or every 15 minutes, what thing is you doing. This is more just helping your brain quantify and categorize the things that you need to do in your day. Things like we have a personal time block. This time block is for things that relate specifically to taking care of yourself. Whether it's a bath, a shower, brushing your teeth, getting ready for the day, whatever you need to do to help you feel like a whole person, that is a personal block. Then we have a home and family block. The home and family block is a time block that is dedicated to taking care of your home and your family, as the name suggests. These things can include making food, cleaning the house, spending time at your kids' sports activity, whatever you need to be doing that helps take care of your family as a unit or as your home. And then we have work blocks. Now, work blocks can have several different distinguishers. Maybe you work outside your home and that's your work block. From the time you leave to the time you get home, that's your work block. If you are a stay-at-home mom or you have a work from home job, the time that you need to set aside to either work on your at-home business, whatever time you're setting aside for that, or time to set aside to do projects such as setting up the garden or, maybe doing some remodeling. Whatever needs to go inside of that. A work block is dedicated towards a very specific activity that you're going to do for a period of time. It's not something that, is only going to take 15 or 20 minutes. It's something where you're setting aside time to do that. My general structure is to have a personal block to start and end the day, a home block that follows the personal block on the insides of the day. I don't think that made sense. So it'll go the general structure is personal, home, family, work, home, family, personal. By organizing your day in this way, you have time at the beginning and end of the day to take care of yourself, to make sure that you have time for yourself and for God and for like whatever you need to do to keep yourself relaxed, rejuvenated, like, and keep that burnout and from all the things that you're doing at bay. Then you have the home family blocks, which make sure that you have time to keep your house in order, keep things picked up, and work on some of those things that, needs to keep that family running smoothly. The dishes, the laundry, and all those sorts of things. And then you have a work block or a couple of work blocks. I actually have 3. 2, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening for my doing chores because I milk cows and so it takes me a lot longer. And then the third one is for my online coaching and mentorship and just all the things that I'm doing with the podcast and all those fun things. So I have at least 3. And then I also sometimes have a work block for a farm project, such as putting up fencing or something where it's like a big project that needs time set aside to work on it specifically. By starting to categorize your day into these different segments, then you can start layering in routines inside of each of these segments, and your routines don't feel as overwhelming or all over the place because what you are doing is you are just focusing your brain energy on one very specific part of your life. It helps free up some of that mental space because you are able to know that when you are working on something, when you're done and you walk away from it, it will still be there when you get back. And that's the beauty of this. But to bring this all back around to our action step, you don't have to set all of this up right now. You don't have to set a full schedule up today. Start by noticing the flow of your day. Find structures that already exist and start adding on to it, thinking of ways how you can kind of anchor your day down into different blocks and start spending time just in the moment and present on that very specific area in your life that you are working on at that time, whether it's working for your family or working for work, wherever it's at. Not spending your time at work thinking about the dishes and not spend your time doing dishes thinking about the email you have to write, And by doing that, it helps our brains flow through the day and we can actually stay on top of the things that actually need to be done. I invite you to come and share over in our off Facebook, our private community. It's free to sign up and come over there and share and post an anchor that you've identified that you're doing really well in. And if you have attached a task to it or something where you're helping yourself like attach things together and find that flow inside of it, your example might help another mom find her starting spot. Homesteading skills are wonderful, but they're not the first step. The first step is to learn how your time actually works. Start by identifying your time blocks, your anchors, the structure surrounding it, and this is how homemaking can become peaceful instead of overwhelming. Thanks for hanging out with me today, friends. Thanks for bearing with my stumbling tongue today. If you want help implementing this, you could join our free community, and we will share our podcast action steps over there. And, if you feel so inclined, you want to figure this out a little bit more, you can join our mentorship program and get some deeper guidance into building your system. The links are in the show notes below. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. Hey neighbor, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share this episode with a friend who is knee-deep in their own homestead? Also, please leave me a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. It thrills me to know that this podcast is helping you. Keep watching those sunsets, friend. I'll meet you back here on the homestead soon for another episode. See ya!